Have you ever noticed how the small things that change your life the most never feel like big decisions when you first make them? Sometimes it's a small moment, almost forgettable, that ends up changing your entire life. And for me, those moments almost began with a simple sentence. All right, let's give it a try. Not confident, not fully prepared, just willing. And if there's one thing I've realized is that readiness is overrated. We keep waiting to feel confident, to feel prepared, to feel like the perfect moment has arrived. But life doesn't really send invitations like that. If anything, it throws opportunities at you in the most inconvenient, unexpected ways possible, almost as if it's testing whether you'll move before stops you. And for me, most of the transformation began long before I felt ready. I didn't fully understand this until class 10, when I finally said yes to something that genuinely scared me: STEM. See, I wasn't always the one who said yes. I grew up as that really quiet kid, the one never talked in class. And in PTMs, the only complaint was he's good at studies, but he doesn't talk to anyone. And you know how adults love to say, speak up, don't be shy, as if shyness is a switch that can be turned off. But for me, talking to people and expressing my feelings was one of the hardest things to do. And honestly, I wasn't scared of STEM. I was scared of not being good enough at it. I saw other students come up with ideas, prototypes, design, and I'd think, I can't even make a decent origami. How am I supposed to make a project? So when I finally said yes in class 10th, I was nervous. Not the butterflies in your stomach nervous. It was more like, don't embarrass yourself nervous. And I still remember the exact moment. I was sitting in my class when my friend asked me if I wanted to work on a project with him. And even though I had zero clarity, I said yes, just like that. No idea, no plan. And right when I thought things couldn't get worse, he added that I needed to bring an idea to the very first class. Now, I'd never worked on a project, so obviously, I panicked. I lowered my phone's brightness to minimum, opened ChatGPT, and asked it to give me an idea. And it did give me one: a simple physics mirror illusion activity. At that moment, I was thinking, oh, this is a really good idea. But the moment I walked into my first class, I realized something very quickly. If I would have told my friend that this was my great idea, he would have surely asked me to change partners. I mean, everyone else around me had serious plans, and there I was, sitting with an idea that could be made with two mirrors and a torch. But honestly, I just didn't want to look dumb in front of my friend. But something surprising happened. Instead of feeling scared, I felt excited. The more I learned, the more I understood something important. I wasn't lacking ideas. I was just thinking too small. I didn't need a genius level plan on day one. I just needed to start. Because ideas don't appear when you're sitting at your home overthinking. They come up when you're actually trying. That small decision helped me understand that I was capable of much more than I actually thought. And it's not just me. Even in the lives of people we admire, some of the biggest changes always began with a simple, uncertain choice. Take J.K. Rowling, for example. When she began writing Harry Potter, she wasn't feeling confident or secure at all. Her life was falling apart. She was broke, struggling, and raising a child alone. She didn't write because she felt ready. She wrote because she had to, even if everything around her was feeling uncertain. But that small decision, it ended up changing her entire life. And that's when it hit me. Sometimes the smallest I'll try can end up rewriting your entire life. And I understood that sometimes in life, you have to just give up everything and do what you want to do. And the thing is, you realize that sometimes if you can do things that scared you a little before, then maybe you could try the next scary thing too. And once that thought enters your mind, even quietly, it changes how you look at opportunities. Instead of asking, am I ready? You start wondering, what if I just try? And after that, trying new things becomes less terrifying. Not because you have become brave, but because you'll finally understand what trying could do to a person. For me, I went for basketball tournaments, even though I felt nervous to play real matches. I had the skills, but not the confidence. But the moment I walked onto the courts, something shifted. Every match made me stand a little taller. And that's the funny thing about growth. You rarely notice it happening until one day you look back and think, wow, I've really changed. I started learning guitar, languages, and I even stood for roles I would have once avoided. None of it was perfect, but each decision made me stand a little more confident than before. That's when I understood something. Confidence isn't magic. It's not something you wake up with one morning. Confidence is simply the sum of all the tries that you did before. And every time you do something you're scared of, you gain this tiny bit of courage. And those tiny bits add up, slowly, quietly. And confidence is like ripples in water. You take one small step ahead, and it sends out a ripple. Then another, and another. And you have reached farther than you realize. And after some time, you look back and realize you have changed. Not suddenly, but steadily. Choice by choice. Most of the people think that confident people are fearless. They're not. They've just tried enough time to stop letting fear decide for them. For me, most of the changes that occurred, they were occurred by small choices. They were almost ordinary. One decision led me to STEM, another put me onto the basketball court, and another pushed me towards the responsibilities I once avoided. But each decision started a chain reaction. Everything we avoid doing isn't impossible. It's just unfamiliar. And we're not scared of doing the task. We're scared because it's new and we don't know the rules yet. But everything we are good at today was once something completely unfamiliar too. Unfamiliar doesn't mean impossible. It just means undiscovered. And to make something familiar, you should take that very first step towards it. Saying yes before you feel ready isn't about being fearless. It's about giving yourself a chance to grow. Because readiness doesn't come before the action. It comes because of the action. And maybe the biggest changes in your life will also begin with something simple. Not confidence, not perfection, just that small sentence I began with. All right, let's give it a try. Thank you, everyone.